SMT Nation, we back. Nation, we've got a great video here for you today. We're going to be going over some of the recent reports coming out about T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T and how their networks are performing. Then we're going to kind of take a spin-off and we're going to do the second part of the video in which we're going to analyze national networking, network performance, and what you're paying for the network and what you're getting for what you're paying. It's a really solid video. I'm very happy to do this with you guys here today. There'll be some information, some articles here. I'll be linking those things in the description, as well as a Google Doc with some data that I want to share with you guys. If you want access to it, just let me know and I can put that in the episode notes. Okay, so all those links will be in the description. Also in the description, the real SMT Buy Me a Coffee link. Want to show your support for your favorite creators. Appreciate all the content on the channel. Buy us a coffee, link in the description. And you still have time, folks. If you're looking for a great deal in wireless service, the deflation promo from our partner Mint Mobile can save you tons of money. Right now, the unlimited plan is at a 50% discount, normally $30. Try 15. All right, so use our partner link, mintmobile.com/sneed. Save that money, get their legendary customer care, and you'll be helping out the channel. Link in the description. Okay, so tons of articles are coming out about the Open Signal report in which T-Mobile showed some really solid results, right? Overall networking, they're showing some leadership there, right? And they've got the 5G leadership with respect to availability of that 5G network and how often customers are connected to it, and also downlink speeds, right? Their download speeds are the best in the industry, really a testament to their 5G UC ultra capacity and 41 layer of their network. All right, so they got the 5G availability, they got the 5G speeds, right? So we've got that. Something that we also noted, some other articles, like from this one from Monica Alvin and Fierce, is that Verizon, took 5G upload speed. Well, Verizon also took the 5G quality experiences as well, like gaming and video app and calling app, things of that nature. So Verizon's strength in the quality metrics, T-Mobile's strength in the speed and availability metrics, and of course AT&T kind of an afterthought in all of this, right? Here's Kelly Hill's article, right? I looked through that one as well. More of the same, right? T-Mobile dominates in availability and speeds, Verizon and uplink, right? And there's reasons for all these things, okay? And we'll talk about that here in today's video. Now, the media really seems to like the T-Mobile narrative, which is speeds and availability, which are great things. Having a fast network is fantastic. Fast networks are better than slow networks, right? So we know that. And available networks are better than unavailable networks. Okay, so that's another thing. But in and of itself, selling 5G as your marketing slogan, as your marketing tool, right? And that's really T-Mobile's thing, right? Is 5G leadership. First of all, is that effective? Do customers even care? Second of all, is it even true? Is T-Mobile the 5G leader? I don't think so. All right, so let's take a look at some things. I put together a summary, an overview of the strengths and the weaknesses from each carrier based on the last two reports that we've overviewed on my channel. A couple weeks ago, it was the Root Metrics report, and then this week, it's the Open Signal report. They're both different. Root Metrics is a scientific, testing firm, right? They have controls. They limit the amount of variables that could be impacting results. Open Signal is crowdsourced from users, right? So these are two very different things, but they're both important data points that are worth considering. So I included both of them into this overview. Let's take a look at the strengths and the weaknesses and my takeaways from both of these reports. Okay, so let's start with AT&T. All right, it is not all doom and gloom, people. I know a lot of people are down on AT&T because they choose to emphasize fiber and wireline. Folks, what do you want them to do? That is their strength. Of course they are going to push that narrative. Meanwhile, when it comes to their mobile network, they have excellent state-level metrics, especially when considering root scores. They have a very large and available national network. That shows in both the root metrics on the state level and the regional, also in the Open Signal. And of course, when it comes to scientific controlled data, when you look at the root scores, They do very well in a lot of that testing. They take some metros, right? They take a lot of states. They have a very good network, okay? Now, their weakness is in the 5G metrics. 5G is not a thing that distinguishes AT&T from any other network, right? They didn't do very well with the 5G metrics. They didn't take any awards in OpenSignal. It's not really what they do. Like, it's not a thing that's on their priority list. We got to win 5G metric awards, right? So they don't do that. Crowdsourced data is another weakness for them. When we look at the OpenSignal, they didn't really win any awards, all right? Uplink speeds, a weakness in both reports. 5G availability, right? They're a far second compared to T-Mobile, right? But I don't know. Some people say that they have the most 5G. I don't understand this, but whatever. Anyways, that's AT&T's strengths and weaknesses based on the reports. If there's anything else, guys, let me know what I forgot. My takeaways. This is literally my takeaways. AT&T networks at their own pace. They're not going to run this 5G race, right? They don't care. They have to do what's best for their business. They're going to build it at their own pace. They don't win awards, right? But the network does appear to be largely adequate and available, and customers like it. All right, those are my takeaways. Now let's move over to T-Mobile. Their strengths. 5G download speeds continues to be their claim to fame. They are a fast network where they've got the 5G UC built out, where they've got the licenses and they've got the towers upgraded. It is very fast. They have a lot of spectrum on air. They're starting to, upgrade to 10 gig fiber circuits, and it shows. 5G availability. They've been building their 5G network for the better part of the last 5 years. The N71 is national. The N41 is becoming basically national, right? They have a very large 5G network, and customers quite often usually connected to it. They do very well in crowdsourced data, right? That's something they do well. So when you look at OpenSignal, they do well there, right? Their 5G and LTE metrics from the OpenSignal report, very strong. In fact, they showed the most improvement. They showed the most excellence, even in the quality metrics for overall networking. All right, so the weaknesses then, their scientific controlled data. They perform poorly from a national scope, from a state scope, right, regional, and then even in metros, right? They are the laggard between AT&T and Verizon. And we're talking about route there. The reliability metrics en route, also a problem. Their calling continues to be the laggard of the industry. The quality experiences in 5G in the OpenSignal report, that showed weakness. And then uplink speeds are starting to regress. I think that's just a situation where there's a lot of usage on the network. They are going to have to densify. They're going to have to add small cells or add more macros. And they're going to have to upgrade fiber circuits, right? Adding higher capacity backhaul, right? And those things can be addressed, right? It's not the end of the world. So my takeaways from T-Mobile is they're not really the 5G leader they claim to be. You can say that they're a leader in availability. You could say they're a leader in speeds. But that's really it. When it comes to quality metrics, even by OpenSignal standards, crowdsourced data, they don't have it. T-Mobile is definitely the most improved network, hands down. Their integration with the Sprint network has worked out very well. They're offering quite the networking experience for a lot of people. They're now offering home internet and stuff like that, so they have come a long way. And they are fast. They are available when it comes to that 5G. But according to the data, and this is from both Root and OpenSignal, Verizon offers better 5G. Okay, now let's take a look at Verizon, their strengths. All 5G quality metrics belong to them. 5G upload speeds, also a strength for them. From the Root metric scores, the metro level dominance is very apparent, and even before C-band, they still did very well. They've got a very large and national network that is trusted by many, including first responders, right? Very akin to what we see with AT&T with FirstNet, right? They do very well in scientific control testing, and they do very well in crowdsourced data, right? So both types of testing Verizon thrives in. I think that's a testament to the redundancy and the overlap in their tower grid and the fact that they own their network, right? A large portion of their fiber and wireline, right? A large portion of their spectrum assets, right? Their small cells, all those things count. Now, their weaknesses include 5G availability. They're the laggard in the industry. They don't have as much 5G compared to AT&T and T-Mobile. 5G speeds also a weakness. They're not as fast as, say, for example, T-Mobile. And overall, from like a overall network experience based on the reports from OpenSignal, there's a bit of a regression. In Root Metrics, they're progressing, right? So very different there, but good data points to consider. So my takeaways about Verizon. What we're seeing is a rapid modernization project that is quickly restoring the Verizon network excellence and experience. The things that have been haunting Verizon for the last handful of years, being spectrum starved and the network aging, especially in rural America, those things are starting to be a thing of the past, right? They're addressing it, right? And it's evident in the testing and results. Their heavy investment into fiber and a very calculated and smart spectrum investment approach is starting to pay huge dividends as their network is improving the fastest amongst all three carriers. The lack of 5G availability and speeds are notable. That is not something to ignore, but it's likely not even going to exist in the next couple of reports. So maybe the next time we see an OpenSignal report, the next time we look at another Root Score report, a lot of the concerns about the network being outdated, those things will be a thing of the past. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the pricing. We just looked at the strengths and the weaknesses of each of the carriers. So at the bottom of the screen, you have T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, and I stacked them up by pricing. For the most premium plan on T-Mobile, we're talking about network access here, folks. All of this entire video is about network. T-Mobile is the most expensive carrier for their premium network experience. $90 for a line of service. It does include taxes and fees, and all those factors are included. You could talk about all the plan perks and benefits that come with it, but we're just talking network access. $90 for their most premium network experience. AT&T comes in at $85. Verizon comes in at $80. If you want to sit there and argue about multi-line pricing or other factors, that's fine. I'm only looking at single-line pricing. Verizon has the lowest price point. AT&T, then T-Mobile, the most expensive. When you look at their entry-level plans, Verizon has one entry-level plan at $65. AT&T offers a $65 and a $75. And then T-Mobile offers a $50 and a $75. $75 kind of like their regular Go 5G plan, right? And then $50 is like that Essentials plan. But really, you know, Verizon actually gives you the best pricing for network access, right? We're just talking about the cost of the plan. So we're in a day and time where if we look at all of the strengths and the weaknesses, the most expensive carrier is the one that is actually flawed. And the most comprehensive networking carrier is the least expensive carrier. So that we actually have kind of an inverse relationship. You're actually not paying what you're getting for with respect to the network. You know, I think what you're looking at with the T-Mobile proposition is you're looking at other factors. You're actually not looking at network experience in terms of this. So when we look at this question here, the question I'm looking at, based on Root, based on OpenSignal, that's scientific and crowdsourced testing, which company offers the best network experience to cost ratio? All right, now, important factors. 5G speeds on smartphones just need to be good enough. The networks cannot and should not be congested. However, customers do not buy 5G. Customers do not buy speed. They buy network access. Whether it comes in the form of LTE or 5G, 90% of customers don't care or even understand the technology. The apps just have to work, and they shouldn't take long to respond, and the task should be completed quickly. Whether it's downloading a video or a movie before you get on a plane, or it's watching video content while, commuting, or whatever the case may be, right? It just has to be good. So here, according to Root, according to OpenSignal, Verizon is actually the clear winner. In some instances, you can make the argument that it's AT&T based on Root. The irony of it all is T-Mobile is the most expensive, proclaims and markets 5G leadership, and focus on metrics that customers actually don't care about. Other factors improve the value proposition at T-Mobile: multi-line cost, a third free line, taxes and fees included, different types of perks and benefits. But when we talk about the plan for network access, they're the most expensive, and they're selling something that people don't care about, that actually doesn't even exist, and that's their 5G leadership. They do have the most available 5G. They do have the fastest 5G. But again, is that what customers are signing up for? So there's a bit of a disconnect there. Question number 2. Based on root metrics and open signal reports, scientific and crowdsourced testing, what do we know about each company? Here's the major takeaway from this entire video. Marketing 5G leadership by T-Mobile should only include mentions of speeds, specifically downlink speeds, and 5G availability. For now. The window, folks, is going to be slamming shut very soon, and the reason I say that is because both AT&T and Verizon are building out their dedicated mid-band 5G networks, and there's going to come a point where you can't distinguish any of them from each other with respect to speeds and availability. 5G networking quality is dominated by Verizon. This is indicative of the Open Signal report, and they offer the lowest cost network access for the network. All right, so this is all from a national perspective. None of this has to do with regional. None of this has to do with metro. I didn't talk about where you live. I didn't talk about the city you work in versus the city you live in. You make those decisions. Your anecdotal experience is how you purchase your plans and who you get service from. This was an evaluation of national networking. Your personal opinions about your experiences in the markets you live, work, and play, not included in this evaluation. This is a national perspective. How are T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon doing with respect to their networks? Is their marketing a match for what they're selling? What I'm seeing here is T-Mobile selling wolf tickets. They're selling you the best 5G network, but it may not be. At least the data doesn't suggest it. They sell you the fastest 5G network. They sell you the largest 5G network, but the data doesn't suggest that it's the best. All right, so marketing doesn't always match the data. And, here we let the tech do the talking, and we let the numbers tell the stories. All right, so what do you guys think of all this? What do you think of the strengths, the weaknesses, the takeaways? What do you think of the pricing proposition? What do you think about the network evaluations? Love to hear what you guys have to say on this. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.